Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today in the kitchen we are going to be continuing on with a project we did in a previous video when we made the cornbread for the dressing. So today we're going to go ahead and put that together now that it's dried out and make our pumpkin dressing. You're going to start by making a fresh batch of cornbread ahead of time and then cut it and dry it for 3 to 4 days, or you can use store-bought. If you want to see how I make my cornbread, please see my last video where I start getting ahead for the holidays. Once that is done, we're going to get started by preparing our celery by cutting it, washing it, and then dicing it as fine as you want. You can do big chunks, little chunks, it's however you like it. I'm multiplying this recipe, so I'm going to be using extra veggies that are to our family's liking. I had some extra, so I went ahead and prepared it for fresh eating for snacks and stuck it in the fridge. Before I start dicing my onions, I'm going to preheat my skillet on medium and start the butter melting so that it's ready for me when I'm done. You can see celery is a favorite snack for TBK. Dice the onions however fine you like. I like small pieces, so I go really little, but you do it as big as you want. Once you're done and your butter is melted, add your veggies to your skillet and start sauteing them. You're going to want them to be nice and tender, the onions translucent. So about 5 to 7 minutes approximately, depending on how much you're cooking. I'm using dried herbs instead of the fresh that this recipe calls for. So per batch, I think you would want to do about a teaspoon of each of the herbs or to taste. Because my herbs are dried also, I'm going to add them in with the veggies while they're sauteing so that they can be in with the butter and start extracting the oils and just blooming the flavors, and it'll make it taste that much better whenever I go to bake this. I'm also choosing to add rosemary to this dish, and I'm using fresh from my garden that I dried myself, and the pieces are still big, so I'm using my grinder to get them into smaller pieces. While that's sauteing, I'm going to get my large mixing bowl ready and start adding in my cornbread cubes. I'm going ahead and measuring it so I can see about how much I have, and that way I know how much liquid to add to this mix. If you need extra butter, feel free to add some. My herbs were starting to stick somewhat, so I just added a little bit until it was just right. Once your veggies are all tender and to your liking, go ahead and add them on top of your cornbread cubes to the mixing bowl. Add your pumpkin and your broth. And then just mix it well without crumbling your cornbread cubes too much. Add that mix to a greased casserole dish, spread it evenly. And then if you're going to freeze this or refrigerate it overnight, then add your foil and mark what's in it and what your baking instructions are. Or you can go ahead and bake it at 425 for about 1 hour. Remove your foil in the last 10 to 15 minutes so that it'll get more golden brown for you. And that is all there is to it. Well, there you have it. Now you can see how I make my delicious pumpkin dressing, and you can also use it as stuffing if you prefer to do it that way. I hope that this has inspired you to try a new recipe or to whip out your favorite recipe and get ahead on your holidays to make your life a little bit easier this year. Don't forget to check out our previous videos on our Halloween treats that I do and I shared with you guys so that you could have some fun things to do this season. Have a blessed day and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.